Could you ever imagine a preacher, a man of faith, a leader of his community, driven to the unthinkable? Could you believe he would brutally cut off his own father's manhood in an act of rage so profound it left an entire town reeling? What could possibly push a man to such a breaking point? It was a family that seemed to have it all: faith, love, and a reputation built on trust. A preacher with a powerful voice, a devoted wife, and 2 bright, happy children. They were admired in their small Texas town, a beacon of unity and moral strength for the community. But one quiet evening, what began as a school project for their oldest child turned into the start of a nightmare. A discovery so shocking it unraveled everything they believed to be true. A simple DNA test, meant to explore their ancestry, became the key to unlocking a devastating truth. What happens when the pillars of your life, your faith, your family, your identity, are ripped away in a single moment? Stay with us as we uncover the events that transformed this seemingly perfect family into the center of one of the most horrifying cases ever witnessed. This is not just a story about betrayal, it's about the shattering of trust, the unraveling of lives, and the consequences of secrets kept too long. David Lane, a 45-year-old preacher, commanded respect from his congregation in a tight-knit Texas community. His sermons were passionate, often weaving scripture into lessons about loyalty, morality, and family values. To those who listened, he was more than a preacher, he was a guide, a moral compass. His wife, Laura, was his steadfast partner. At 38, she balanced her role as a preacher's wife with raising their 2 children, 12-year-old Emma and 9-year-old Caleb. Laura was known for her warm smile, her active role in organizing charity drives, and her seemingly unshakable support for her husband's ministry. Together, the Lanes appeared to live an idyllic life. Their modest yet welcoming home, with its weathered porch and neatly trimmed hedges, stood as a symbol of their devotion to faith and family. Sundays were filled with the laughter of children running across the churchyard, the aroma of potluck meals, and the harmonious voices of the congregation. Yet beneath this image of unity and devotion, a truth waited, one that neither David nor Laura could have anticipated, and one that, once uncovered, would change their lives forever. It began innocently enough. A school assignment for Emma, the Lanes' oldest child. She needed to explore her family history for a genealogy project. Over dinner, she suggested that the entire family take part in a DNA test. It seemed like a fun way to learn about their ancestry, a bonding activity to bring them even closer together. David was enthusiastic, quickly agreeing to the idea. Laura, however, hesitated. Her smile faltered as she suggested they reconsider. The moment passed quickly, dismissed by David as unnecessary worry, and within days the test kits were ordered and the samples sent off. Weeks later, the results arrived. Excitement filled the house as they gathered around the computer to view the findings. The children joked about royal bloodlines and hidden family secrets, but as David scrolled through the report, his expression changed. His brow furrowed, his breath hitched, and he leaned closer to the screen. The results said something that didn't make sense. He wasn't a biological match to either Emma or Caleb. What started as a simple activity was now a puzzle he couldn't ignore. David laughed nervously, brushing it off as an error in the database, but a sinking feeling began to take hold. What should have been a joyful moment of discovery was about to expose a truth no one in the Lane family could have anticipated. A truth that would tear them apart. David Lane couldn't let it go. The DNA results gnawed at him, their implications too strange to ignore. At first he reasoned with himself. There had to be a mistake. He contacted the testing company, explaining the error and asking for a recheck. Days later, their response came. The results were accurate. David was not the biological father of his children. But that wasn't all. The company confirmed another disturbing detail. The children's DNA matched another close relative. The only possible match within the submitted samples was his father, Robert Lane. David felt his world tilt. Memories rushed back, his father's frequent visits, his overly familiar behavior, and Laura's unease whenever Robert was around. The pieces began to fall into place, and the realization left him reeling. He confronted Laura one evening, the printed DNA results in hand. His voice was low, trembling with restrained fury. "Explain this!" he demanded. At first Laura denied everything, but David pressed on, his questions relentless. Finally, in tears, she broke down and confessed. Years ago, shortly after their marriage, Robert had forced himself into Laura's life in the worst way imaginable. Manipulating his position as a father figure and elder, he coerced her into a relationship that continued for years, leaving her powerless to stop it. The children, both Emma and Caleb, were Robert's, not David's. David staggered under the weight of her words. The woman he loved and trusted, the father he revered, both had betrayed him. Everything he believed about his life was a lie. For days, David retreated into himself, grappling with the betrayal and shame. His sermons became hollow, his interactions with his family strained. The community noticed his absence of warmth, but chalked it up to stress. No one could have guessed the storm brewing inside him. One night the tension broke. David returned home late, his face blank but his movements unnervingly calm. Laura, sensing his mood, tried to talk to him, but he cut her off mid-sentence. Without warning, he lashed out. His rage, bottled for days, erupted in violence. Laura's cries filled the room as David's anger consumed him. The crime was swift, but its brutality left no doubt about the depth of his torment. Leaving her lifeless body behind, David's attention shifted to Robert. He drove to his father's home, his mind a whirlwind of anger and determination. When Robert opened the door, David pushed his way in, the confrontation escalating almost immediately. Words were exchanged, accusations, denials, and finally, the truth. Robert didn't even try to hide it. What followed was an act of vengeance David couldn't stop, even if he wanted to. His father's life ended in the same storm of rage that claimed Laura's. By the time the house fell silent, David stood alone, drenched in blood, with nothing left but the hollow echo of his actions. When the police arrived, summoned by horrified neighbors, they found David sitting on the porch, his Bible resting on his lap. He surrendered without resistance, muttering, "It's done. Justice has been served." The aftermath rippled through the small Texas town. The once respected preacher became a figure of infamy, his story spreading like wildfire. The trial gripped the nation, pitting the horrors of betrayal against the monstrous nature of his crimes. In the end, David was sentenced to life in prison. His children, now orphans, were placed in foster care, their lives forever scarred by the events that unfolded. The community, left to grapple with the shocking fall of a man they had trusted, became a testament to the devastating power of secrets kept too long. The Lane family's story serves as a chilling reminder of the lengths to which pain and betrayal can push even the most steadfast souls. This case leaves us with questions that go beyond the tragedy itself. Could David's actions ever be justified, or did his quest for retribution cross an unforgivable line? What would you have done if faced with such a devastating betrayal? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear. If this story left you thinking about the fragility of trust and the lengths people go to when it's broken, make sure to hit the like button. Your support helps us bring more stories like this to light. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Next time, we'll uncover another case where betrayal, secrets, and unimaginable decisions changed lives forever.